So as you might know, I have a mastermind Etsy group that meets together twice a month, and we help each other grow. That's the whole point of it, is that we get together and there's just kind of like, hey, here's what I'm working on my business. Here's where I'm stuck. And we have great owners of Etsy shops who can kind of give input. And so I'm usually much more analytical with the advice that I'm going to give. So someone comes to me and says, hey, I've posted this new kind of genre of what I'm selling. It's not really taking off. I'm getting a couple sales here and there. So then, and I want to share this story with you because I feel like this is where a lot of people get stuck in their Etsy shop, is that they try to develop or build new products or new ideas and then they don't stick. And so they just rinse and repeat. They're like, well, I'll just try it again. I'll just try it again. I'll just try it again. Or they go research on Etsy and they're like, well, this person's selling a lot, so therefore I'm going to try to sell that. So they try to kind of mimic what that is, and then it doesn't pan out. So then they just rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat, rinse and repeat. And so the advice that I was giving this individual is I said, whoa. You've sold a couple. It's been about a month. I can see based on the views, she's connected to Listedom, which is an Etsy app that allows, if you have their extension, it allows you to see a lot of the stats just right up front. So I was able to see how many views each one had and the favorite ratio and things like that. She had a 10% favorite ratio on it. It was getting over 100 views on a couple of her listings and stuff like that. One of them was a bit higher. She'd been running ads to it and so, okay, we have enough data. Let's now make an educated decision instead of a rushed, oh, this isn't working, I'm out decision. And I think this favors a lot of the creative brain. The creative brain loves to create. And so as soon as something, you create and it makes money, that's super fun. If you create and it doesn't make money, you can either figure it out or you can just keep creating, which I think a lot of creators do. I'm going to teach you, I'm going to have you walk through a little bit on how we can audit it. Now, here's the thing that works with anything that you're doing digital. You are always going to release things into the wild, whether you're advertising on Facebook, you're trying to grow organically, you're putting things on Etsy. This is all algorithm based. I'm hoping I'm going to be brought up. The first thing you want to do is put it up and allow time to happen. And so what we're looking for is it gathering views? If it's not gathering views, then you know what your problem is. A lot of the times Etsy is confused by what it is that you're trying to sell, which a good solution to that is to put it in a category that's very clear of what the product is, and then start to fill that category. So let's just say that you are trying to hit greeting cards as your this is a Father's Day card and it's getting no views. So then what you need to do is you need to create other greeting cards that sort of teach Etsy that you're selling greeting cards, have it in a category that's greeting cards. And that helps the algorithm pick up some steam on what it is that you're trying to sell. And then they can be like, oh, this is a card for fathers. This is a card for mothers. This is a card for Christmas. And it starts to kind of sub niche where you're going to be. And that's a good way to solve that problem. Another reason that would take place is if you just have something that the algorithm is seeing that people aren't interested in. So let's just say your front picture is really bad. Let's say it's really expensive. Let's say that for whatever reason, they've placed it in front of people and people aren't stopping or clicking. Then the algorithm's going to learn really quick, like, oh, we don't want to waste people's time. We're not going to show this product nearly at all. And you're going to see that reflected into your stats where no one is seeing anything. Another thing that's worth noting is that if you are building, let's just say greeting cards, and the main keyword for this would be greeting cards, Etsy's going to probably choose one of your listings to promote in that. It might switch every once in a while and whatnot, but you'll probably have a listing that gets the most views. So what you typically see is that triangle effect, that you're going to see something at the top that has a lot of views, and then it trickles down to your other products. This is important to know because I think as we're creating, we're wanting to spread that love to our creations that we have, but we need to know that Etsy's realistically going to just kind of choose the one it feels like is going to fit the best for its algorithm. And that's where it's going to place it. So now here comes the big question here, which is a great transition to you're getting views, but why aren't you getting sales? And so I can see my product is happening, but why aren't people buying this? Great freaking question. We can audit it. So I want you to then, once you identify, and Listedom is a great tool for this, to be able to be like, you just look right on the bat and see that one. In my category, that one gets the most views. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to click on the listing, click into stats. If you're logged into your Etsy shop, scroll down to the bottom and look at the keywords that are bringing in traffic. Now, keep in mind, this is only the keywords that people have typed and clicked, not just impressions, which is when a product is shown but no one clicks. You can get that information from an ad account. But this is just from, this is what people are typing in, and then when they see my product, they click. Now, if you're getting views, you should have a handful of words in there that you can see. You're going to do two things with those words. Number one is you're going to ask yourself, is this what they're typing in match exactly what I'm selling? So if they're typing in greeting cards for Father's Day and you're looking at your card and you're like, yeah, it's kind of a masculine card, but it's not like a Father's Day card. There's our disconnect, right? You'd be surprised on how often this is sort of the case, that you're seeing something, you're like, oh, I guess I don't really advertise it that way, or I don't really say it that that's what it could be used for. So what do? We adjust the listing to fit that description. So we can start. Now, this doesn't mean we change the main image. It doesn't mean that we change the headline, because those will both reset what you've essentially created at this point. Etsy's going to go into relearning for those things. So what you're going to do is you're going to use the back images to then promote some options of how it can work the way that it's being searched. So this is a great exercise that you can do even if you're seeing success on Etsy, to just be like, what are the ones that are gathering the most views for me? And am I matching those keywords? If you're getting a lot of success on Etsy, the answer is probably yes. But is there always ways that you can see? I love this exercise because sometimes you can see things based on what people are searching and you'd be like, oh, I don't even make that. Maybe I'll go make it. And then now you're creating with strategy, which is much different than just, hey, someone's selling something, I think I'm going to copy it. It's like, hey, someone's searching, Etsy's showing me under that search. Why don't I create for that search? What I see most often when I see shops getting the views and then we look at their stats is that there is something that's kind of off. And so what we want to do is take that product, duplicate that product, rewrite the words that people are searching and clicking on into our stuff into the headlines of what we create. I tend to do it this way. I get a product, let's just say it gets 900 views or something. I'm like, sweet. I look at the data and I'm like, hey, I love 3 or 4 of these phrases, that way that people are saying it. I then duplicate my listings 3 or 4 times, switch out the front picture so that it looks different on my shop, and then I write in the first 6 to 7 headline titles exactly what I was seeing working in my shop that was driving in traffic. And now what I'm doing is I'm taking this one listing that was trying to kind of be broad, and I'm limiting it down to something that's more specific, and I'm using the exact phrase. And so that's going to help Etsy diversify your shop a bit more, because you're taking the phrases that people are searching for and placing those into search, and that allows the algorithm to match it really quickly, especially if it's in a category and people already know, or Etsy already knows what it is that you're selling. Now, we were doing this exercise in my mastermind group, and luckily there's not just Jared on the call for this. There's a lot of Etsy shop owners who are very talented. And so they were kind of looking at her listing as I was having this conversation with her, and they were like, hey, I actually have some feedback visually that I can give you to help with this problem that you're having. I have that video. I've put it in my school group that I have. My school group is, I think it's free to join and be in the community, but it's a one-time payment of $27 if you want access to all of this content that I have in there. And I got a lot of really great content in there. It's a lot of one-on-one shops. I've got sections in there that answer specific questions about scaling ad accounts, growing off of Etsy, and just when you're stuck on Etsy in certain stages of where you are. So I think it's worth it to you if you want to go check that out. Sorry, it did that when I edited it. It was like, ow. And I was like, dude, I'm just going to leave it. And I was thinking about dropping a dope beat and then it just go right into the rest of the podcast. It's going to be a rap, freestyle session. But unfortunately, YouTube gets mad at me if I put music in YouTube, so I can't do it. So anyway, life.
Unless it's royalty-free music, yeah!
Grow my Etsy shop, yeah, that's the spot. Grow my Etsy shop, yeah, we'll grow your shop. Grow your Etsy shop, yeah, I'm at the top. So in this video, you'll see some of the conversations that were taking place, and one of my favorite ones is that one of the owners was looking at the shop and he said, your shop is almost too corporate looking for me. That in a world of AI, in a world of China, in a world of are you just buying and reselling, it almost looks and is losing that from me. And then he pulled up some of these other bestsellers and he was like, all of these people, I know who's making it and that it's handmade. But when I look at yours, it's almost too professional. And she was like, oh my gosh, I've worked so hard to receive that compliment you just gave me, which is that it's so professional. And he's like, I get it, but I don't know what I'm buying when I buy from you, but I know what I'm buying when I buy from them. And as we started to go through this exercise, the light bulb started to turn on for me as well. I started to see like, oh, I guess when I am, because what she gets is a lot of add to carts to her product, but they're not pulling the trigger. And her product is under $20. And so usually what happens is a lot of people will add to cart and then they make their final decision. And I could see why someone would choose maybe a different brand, because I think there's a surety of what it is that they're trying to get. Another great exercise that you'll see in this video is that we were looking at her color schemes that were presented, and then we went into Etsy and searched her products, and we could see that all of the products that were at the very top page all had a very similar color scheme to them. And now this is common, that's something that Etsy does, is that Etsy has so much data that they know what's trending and what's working and what someone is most likely to buy when they're searching for inspirational keywords. And so they tend to present colors that are most likely to sell. And so we're talking patterns, like, oh, right now the scalloped look is popular in nurseries, or right now polka dots are working, or right now these more nature-based colors are what is trending. I want you to look at your products, especially if you're seeing kind of the stats that we're talking about, and I want you to go through those color schemes, because this is going to help you. Now, we don't want to fall victim to, I look just like everybody else. But if people are adding your product to cart, but they're not quite pushing through, sometimes it's because they're just choosing one that they like better. So can we create options for this? And then this is one of my favorite things to do with all Etsy shops, is that we present a product that they might be interested in, click on, want to see, and then we offer a small amount of variance that's connected to that. I'm going to do an episode next week on add-ons, because we know that Etsy just made this update that we can now add variants that have an upcharge to what they're doing. And I've been doing some research on my own on how can we raise the average order value of our orders once we've got someone sold and in by using these variant techniques. But until then, I want you to take the data that you're seeing. So, oh man, people are buying a lot of this product from me, or a lot of this color from me, or a lot of these styles from me. And then you create a listing that has those best sellers in it, so that when they click it, oh, I'm really interested in this felt banner that I'm going to hang in my house. Boom. Then you go, hey, here's some of the most popular listings I have all in one listing. And that's the listing you advertise. We call this the monster listing when we create it in the mastermind group. This is all stuff that you can do. You can copy and paste and place this into your shop. But what you don't want to do is you don't want to fall victim to, it's not working, I'm going to create more. No, it's not working. Let me see why. Let me see what it is that people are coming into my shop. And then when you run ads, you get that extra special oomph, which is that you can open your ad account, click on detailed keywords, click on impressions. No, what is it? They use a different term for it. It's the amount of time that you're seeing. You click on that, and then you can see the keywords that people are actually searching, but not necessarily clicking for you. And then you just rinse and repeat that same exercise. Can I create those things? Does my listing, should people be clicking on my listing when they search that keyword? If the answer is yes, present it differently. It's all about the presentation, baby. Okay. Till next week.